Hi, it's Kylie Davis here from CoreLogic. I'm here at the Inman Connect 2018 conference in San Francisco. It's the world's largest real estate and property tech conference, and this year it's attracted more than 5,000 real estate agents, major franchise groups, but most importantly, this year's seen the most number of Australians ever at the conference, with about 45 major real estate agents, brands over here looking at what's going on. So we're going to talk to them and find out what they've learned. I'm talking to Mark McLeod, who is CEO of Growth at Ray White. So Mark, you've been coming to Inman for about, 6 years now?
This is my 6th visit to the Inman conference in San Francisco. We've got quite a large team over here. We've brought over 4 people, including the chairman, Brian, who happens to be here at this particular conference.
Is this his first conference?
No, it's not. He's been to another one in New York, which is the alternate one to this. And we come with a fairly kind of strategic approach to why we come here. You know, we follow a very strong theme that we're looking for in our platform, which we've already built, as you know, and try and see where we can find partners in that platform to ultimately give the agents a much better opportunity, to give their customers a better experience, and hopefully, the win-win ultimately for us, the consumer at the end, who gets a better result.
So one of the themes that's come out of this conference is that whole need for a single system where the agents are being both guided through, and it's easy for them to move from one section of the transaction or the process, the customer process, to the other. You guys have been sort of ahead of the curve on that back home. What have you seen here at this conference that you kind of want to plug in, or that you think might enhance that?
Well, I think it's back to why is technology important in our business. That is very much about people. Yeah. Our philosophy, our overarching philosophy, is to provide a platform, and we may have to pull in other systems, I'll talk to that in a moment, that ultimately puts our people in front of more people at the right time. Ultimately, this is a relationship. It's a relationship-driven business. No piece of technology is going to override that. And we have a saying in our network is, if it's a relationship business, make a list of all the people you have a relationship with you've never spoken to. Well, the answer to that question is none. So technology for us is to provide a platform so it identifies customers. We can provide better value and a better transparent value to that customer, which enhances our agent's experience, enhances our customer's experience in the end. So we're talking to the people at the right time with the right tools that they need at that particular part of their journey. And for us, the journey is not, hey, Mr. Real Estate Agent, I've decided to sell my house. Their journey for us is they live in our communities, and how can we enhance the value of what we do for them in their communities, whether that's in Sydney, Brisbane, Melbourne, Broome, was there last week, or anywhere else across our network, and of course in New Zealand as well. So
we're seeing that the platforms are getting easier to use. They're becoming slowly but surely more integrated. In the past, there's always been this issue around getting people to adopt a new platform or getting them to do something different, because it's always been hard. Do you think it's going to get easier?
No, I think there's a new wave of agents coming through who are naturally more talented, or naturally more comfortable in that space. One of the things that we did a number of years ago now, in cooperation with this development of the platform, was build a training platform called Accelerate. So Accelerate is a training platform that incorporates tech from the moment they walk into the Ray White world. And we have digital BDEs on the ground whose job it is to go out, bring our new people in, show them how to use the tools, and more importantly, how the tools can benefit their career. And then our digital BDEs all across Australia and New Zealand, then role is to help onboard. So we've got a lot of uptake with that introduction. A little bit without that type of education, it's easy for it to look too hard, look too difficult, not understand
take too much time.
The enhancement it can give the agents. And I keep saying the customer, that's ultimately what we have to do at the end. The tools don't make any sense for us if they don't give an advantage to the homeowner at the end of the day by how we represent them in the way they sell their homes.
So one of the big conversations yesterday was around, is it the technology that's driving the agents, or the agents driving the technology?
Actually, that discussion was worthwhile.
It was, wasn't it? Oh my God, it was feisty. But I guess where Ray White stands is that you guys see that the agents are very much driving the technology, not the other way around.
Well, I think what I get out of that debate, I don't necessarily know whether there was two sides to that debate. They were probably closer to the centre than what they both thought.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? And
yep.
then you probably look at degrees of centre. I believe that the agent, and we believe the agent's at the centre. It's the relationship in the community, in the hyper community for that particular agent. You know?
Yep.
How can we provide tools for that agent to enhance the value of the consumer's home?
Yep.
That's ultimately what we're trying to do. And I think for us, the technology is driving our agents to deliver that service better, and that's how we see the technology provided, and all the integration of the platforms, you know, on how we do that and which platforms we integrate with. I think it's going to be hugely important for us.
So one of the other things is that, like, trying to develop this technology, as I guess you guys know, it can be a really expensive exercise, and you need a lot of resource to get around to do that. Do you think that's going to lead to us having fewer agents, sort of, you know, is that going to cull the number of agents out that can afford to be part of this whole new revolution, or what's the, you know, is it going to play?
That's a great question, but as technology evolves, like what we saw when my first one was with you 6 years ago, what we saw there as being kind of unique is now hygiene. You know what I mean? So there is a development of that as technology becomes more ingrained, and the right technology, it becomes easy for people for people to access. So I don't necessarily know that. I'm not quite sure the technology in isolation is as important as the technology integrated to give that easy experience. I think that's what's more the challenge is than individual bits of technology.
So would your advice be to agents who are trying to work out what technology to go with be along the lines of, if it's not going to help you deliver better service to your clients, if it's sort of just a gadget, avoid it, or what's the?
Well, you've got to think about why you want technology. We're really clear. We want to put our people in front of people to have real conversations.
Yep. Free up the agents. Free the agents.
100%. Let us support you through technology so it frees you up to do the things that you're really good at.
Yep.
Which is ultimately listing and selling homes and getting the best outcome from their customers.
Yep.
There's a lot of white noise that lives around that, and I think even you and I have spoken off camera how easy it is to walk in the startup alley downstairs and just
shiny
things and all that. Rather than kind of sitting down, is that what are the problems these usurpers or upstarts are trying to solve?
Yeah.
And do I have that problem inside my business?
Yeah.
And is that problem at the top of my priority of fixing?
Yes.
I mean, there's some stuff downstairs.
That's super cool.
That's super cool.
Yeah.
You know, but whether that's going to enhance what we want to do is another question.
Right now.
And that's often the most difficult question to answer.
Yeah,
you know
prioritising.
I mean? And we've got some of our, we've got 4 or 5, including Brian from that. We've also got a number of our agents here as well,
Yes.
and their heads are spinning.
I
going,
bet they are.
Did you see this, Maggie? Did you see that? Did you see that? You know, and you've got to say, well, how is that fitting into what we're trying to do and what you're trying to do as a collaborative? Yeah.
So next year, Inman Connect is going to be in not San Francisco,
Vegas.
in Vegas.
Yep.
Are you heading to Vegas?
I would assume so. I mean, this is an important part of our calendar every year. I know Brian's and the family's attitude is that you can't, you have to be here.
Yep.
You have to be here. We attack this, as I said, very strategically. We'll leave here, back to Australia, tomorrow night with a kind of very clear game plan that we've created through the week that we've been here.
Fabulous.
And so then we'll iterate that over the next 12 months or so, and then we'll be here again, and
it'll all start over again.
It'll start all over again. Yeah.
Fantastic. Mark McLeod, thanks very much.
Thanks, Kylie.
Thank you.
Bye.